Hi, today we're going to talk about modal verbs that are used to give advice. So firstly, a modal verb is an auxiliary verb that's used with a main verb to convey a specific meaning. For example, permission, advice, obligation, ability, possibility, and so on. And there are lots of different types of modal verbs like may, might, must, should, and so on. A modal verb can have more than one function depending on the context. For example, can be used for permission, ability, possibility. It all depends on the context it's used in. We're going to focus on the advice ones today. So we can use should or shouldn't, ought to or not to, would, wouldn't, had better not. These all show a recommendation. We're saying that something is a good idea. Whereas need to, don't need to, or have to, don't have to. These show necessity, that something is necessary in the advice that we're giving. Start with the recommendation ones. Should is used with an infinitive. You should drink 8 glasses of water every day. You shouldn't drink too much alcohol. Ought to or ought not to with the infinitive is, for example, you ought to drink 8 glasses of water every day. You ought not to drink too much alcohol. Ought to is a little more formal than should, and it's not commonly used in America. We use it a bit more in Britain, but should is by far the most common modal verb to give advice or a recommendation. In the negative form, should not can be contracted to shouldn't, but ought not, don't contract it to oughtn't. We say ought not to in the full form. Moving on to would, typically we use it in the first person. I would drink more water every day. I wouldn't drink too much alcohol. And it's not talking about yourself. It is giving advice to someone else. Had better is similar. You had better drink 8 glasses of water every day. You had better not drink too much alcohol. Notice would not, again, can be contracted to wouldn't, but had better not is not contracted here. We can contract the had with the subject, like you'd. With would, essentially, if you think about it, it is a second conditional form because we're giving advice, but not saying that if I were you on it, but that is implied. I would drink more water if I were you, or if I were you, I would drink more water. When we're giving advice or a recommendation, and it's clear we're making a recommendation, you don't have to say if I were you. You can if you want. Had better is a stronger recommendation, and it implies there is some kind of consequence if you don't do the action. For example, you'd better drink 8 glasses of water every day. If you don't, you might have a stomach problem or you might get dehydrated. Okay. Moving on to necessity, need to is used with the infinitive to show what something is necessary. For example, you need to brush your teeth every day. It's necessary. You don't have to brush your teeth after every meal. It's not necessary. Have to is very similar. You have to brush your teeth every day. You don't have to brush your teeth after every meal. Need to is more of a general necessity, whereas have do is slightly stronger, but they both give advice and show what is necessary or not. I hope that helped you. Thank you for watching.